everyone. Today I want to share something truly important: how to sharpen your way of thinking. Put simply, it's the ability to look at a situation and see it clearly, without rushing to judgment or falling into shallow conclusions. Just one small shift can help you avoid countless mistakes in work, relationships, and life itself. Have you ever felt disappointed in someone because they weren't what you expected? Maybe they seemed kind at first, but later did something that shattered your impression. That's when we fall into a common trap, confusing a temporary behavior with the person's true self. This mistake makes our thinking less sharp and far less accurate. In this video, I won't give you 10 rules or complicated formulas. I'll share just one principle, but it's powerful enough to transform how you see people and situations around you. Once you grasp it, you'll live with more ease, more compassion, and much greater wisdom. So listen closely, because one clear insight can save you from dozens of disappointments and mistakes in the future. And if you find this useful, don't forget to hit subscribe plus the bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Leave me a comment about a situation where you've experienced this. I'll be reading and replying, because your stories enrich this entire community. You're watching Different Thinking, a channel where we explore fresh ways of thinking to live wiser and freer lives. Stay with me until the end, because I've prepared a small gift for you. If you find this video valuable, go ahead and subscribe to Different Thinking today. As a thank you, I prepared a free ebook for you, 5 Lessons from Human Contradictions. You can download it right now in the description or the pinned comment below. Don't miss this chance, because just one small habit can create a completely different future for you. Almost everyone makes confusing behavior with the whole person. We see one action, hear one word, and then rush to conclude that this defines who they really are. Have you ever met someone for the first time? They acted so polite and kind, and you thought, oh, this must be a good person. But later, they did something surprising, maybe even disappointing. You felt tricked. In truth, the problem wasn't them, it was the way you judged them. A person isn't a single-colored painting. They're more like the sky, sometimes sunny, sometimes stormy, sometimes bright, sometimes gray. One single day can hold both sunrise and sunset, gentle breezes and heavy storms. We're the same. One person can be cheerful and cranky, patient and impatient, all depending on the moment. Yet we make a serious error. We freeze one moment and frame the entire person with it. Someone snaps in anger, we label them hot-tempered. Someone laughs often, we assume they're shallow or not serious. But both conclusions are narrow and unfair. Think about yourself. Have you ever been cheerful, then a few hours later, frustrated? Have you ever said something in anger, only to regret it later because it didn't reflect who you really are? If you change like this, why expect others to be 100% consistent? Trap causes us to be easily disillusioned in relationships. At first, we think someone is perfect. Later, when they show a different side, we're shocked and disappointed. But in reality, that's just another part of who they are, nothing more, nothing less. For example, you date someone. At first, they're sweet and caring, and you believe this love will last forever. Months later, they show anger or indifference. Many people instantly conclude, so everything before was fake. But is it really? Or is it simply that, along with their good side, they also have flaws, like everyone else? If we don't see this truth, we'll keep misjudging people and missing out on good relationships. We might push away someone who is genuinely kind, simply because we can't accept their natural complexity. On the other hand, we might trust someone unworthy, just because of one temporary good behavior. This false perception harms not only relationships, but also work. You might underestimate a colleague just because of one mistake, missing their real potential. Or you might wrongly trust a business partner just because of a first impression. Decisions based on such misjudgments can be very costly. The first step to sharpening your thinking is this: never confuse behavior with the whole person. Remember, behavior is just one piece of the puzzle. A person is the whole picture, full of colors, full of contradictions. But that's the truth. When you learn to see the bigger picture, you'll face fewer disappointments, make fewer mistakes, and live much smarter. How common it is to confuse behavior with the whole person. Now let's go deeper. humans are inherently complex. We're not as simple as a math formula where 1 plus 1 always equals 2. A person can be one way today, and another tomorrow, cheerful in the morning, yet quiet and withdrawn by evening. Think about the weather. A single day can have sunshine, rain, and even a rainbow after the storm. But no matter the changes, it's still the same day. People are the same way. We're a collection of emotions, behaviors, and shifting states. The problem is that society often expects people to be absolutely consistent. For instance, if someone is labeled serious, they're expected to always be serious. If a celebrity is known for being gentle, the public struggles to accept it when they get angry or react strongly. But in reality, contradictions are part of human nature. You can be warm, yet still lose your temper. You can be funny, yet still crave solitude. No one is made of a single color. Think of people you know. Maybe someone you see as kind has moments of selfishness. Or someone you label difficult sometimes shows great generosity. These opposites don't cancel each other out. They coexist in the same person. If we forget this truth, disappointment comes easily. When someone behaves differently, we think they're fake or untrustworthy. But the truth is simpler. They're just showing another piece of their complex picture. Example: imagine a colleague who's always serious at work. One day, you see them laughing and joking at a party. If you rush to label them two-faced, you miss the point. Joy is also a genuine part of who they are. Recognizing human complexity helps us be less harsh. We understand that change is normal, and we accept contradictions as part of life. Instead of asking, why was this person like this yesterday and different today, we can smile and think, of course, they're human, just like me. This is the foundation of sharp thinking, to see complexity without confusion, to accept contradictions without rushing to judgment. In doing so, we not only understand others better, but also gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. You might ask, why do we so easily fall into this trap? Why do we see one behavior and instantly label the entire person? This is where we need to dig into the deeper cause. One of the biggest reasons is media and image positioning. In marketing, there's a concept called positioning, creating a fixed image in the audience's mind. When a singer is positioned as gentle, she must always appear gentle. If she ever loses her temper, the public quickly assumes she was fake all along. This mechanism doesn't just apply to celebrities or brands. It seeps into the way we view everyone around us. When society attaches a label to someone, we unconsciously believe it too, ignoring the complexity within. Think about the times you've judged someone based on appearances. A well-dressed person, you assume they're trustworthy. Someone who laughs a lot, you assume they're shallow. But these are just positionings in your mind, shaped by society, media, or your past experiences. The danger is that media often paints perfect images and makes us believe people must always live up to them. When they act differently, we feel shocked and label them as liars. In reality, they're just showing another side that has always existed. For example, imagine a brand positioned as luxurious. Just one campaign that feels too casual, and the audience claims the brand has lost its value. In personal life, it's the same. One action that contradicts the familiar image, and we judge the entire person. That's why so many people become victims of rigid expectations. They're forced to live inside the mold society or media created. And when they don't fit, they're criticized. This doesn't just make us misjudge others, it also makes us harsh with ourselves. Have you ever thought, I must always be this way? I'm not allowed to change. If so, you too are trapped by that same positioning. The deeper cause is this: we're guided by oversimplified images. But life isn't simple. People are even less simple. If you want sharp thinking, you must take off those tinted glasses and see the full picture. We've understood the deeper reasons why we confuse behavior with identity. But awareness alone isn't enough. The key is this: we must apply this principle in daily life, especially when it comes to how we see others. Think back to the last time you felt disappointed in someone. Maybe they were kind before, and then one day they said or did something hurtful. In that moment, you might have thought, so they're not as good as I thought. But with sharper thinking, you'd see it differently. Oh, this is just another part of who they are. Applying this perspective makes you less judgmental and more compassionate. When you see contradictions in others, you don't rush to call them fake, you understand that contradictions are natural. And here's the magic. That compassion makes you someone others love to be around. For example, in a friendship, your friend might be attentive today but distant tomorrow. If you look at the whole person, you won't get angry over one moment, you'll see it as just another shade. That acceptance is what makes friendships last. The same goes for family. How many times have parents, spouses, or children upset you with harsh words? If you take one harsh sentence as their entire being, you'll be deeply hurt. But if you think, they're tired, stressed, this is just a temporary behavior, your heart softens instantly. At work, it's the same. A colleague might be impatient at times, but that doesn't mean they're irresponsible. A boss might be grumpy one day, but that doesn't mean he's a bad person. Seeing the bigger picture preserves collaboration and prevents unnecessary conflict. There's even a special benefit. When you're compassionate towards someone's contradictions, they're more likely to open up to you. Why? Because they feel safe, knowing you won't judge them for a single behavior. I once had a colleague who was brilliant but sometimes short-tempered. If I had only focused on his outbursts, I couldn't have worked with him. But when I chose to see him as a multifaceted human, both talented and quick-tempered, I learned how to adjust myself. And we worked far more effectively. So, whenever you're about to conclude something about someone, ask yourself, am I judging the whole person, or just one behavior? That single question can save you from countless misunderstandings. Sharp thinking isn't about always being right, it's about seeing with depth and compassion. And when you apply this to others, you'll notice your relationships becoming lighter, stronger, and far more joyful. We've talked about applying this principle to others, but here's something even more important, applying it to yourself. Often, we're harsher on ourselves than on anyone else. And sometimes, we trap ourselves inside a little box labeled, "This is just who I am." Have you ever told yourself, "I'm an introvert, so I can't be good at communication," or "I've always had a temper, so I'll never be patient"? That's when you confuse one behavior or tendency with your entire being. The truth is, you're not a gold bar stuck in one shape. You're more like clay, malleable, flexible, able to be molded into countless forms. If today you choose silence, tomorrow you can choose to speak up. If today you lose your temper, tomorrow you can practice patience. When you believe, "This is the only way I can be," you limit yourself. It's like someone saying, "I only listen to this type of music. Everything else is terrible." The result? They miss out on the joy of new experiences. Life becomes smaller simply because they built the fence themselves. I've met many people who said, "I'm shy, so I could never speak in public." But shyness is just a repeated behavior, not destiny. When they dared to try, they discovered they could stand on a stage and share, even if their hands shook at first. Each attempt expanded the borders of who they believed they were. Try asking yourself this: does today's behavior truly define all of me? Or is it just one slice of who I am? Once you see the difference, you'll feel relieved. You allow yourself flexibility, the freedom to try new things, to make mistakes, because one mistake doesn't turn you into a failure. The image of clay is a reminder. You can always change without losing your essence. Clay can be molded into a vase, a bowl, or a statue, and it's still clay. You can try on new roles, behaviors, and lifestyles, and you'll still be you. When you embrace that richness, life feels freer, happier. You're no longer afraid of losing yourself when trying something new. Because you know humans are meant to be complex and flexible. You are the whole painting, not just one brushstroke. So start with yourself. Today, try doing something different. Say something you'd normally hold back, or try something you always thought wasn't for you. And remember, don't label yourself by one behavior. You're not rigid gold, you're clay, full of potential. So we've walked this journey together, from spotting the common mistake, to recognizing human complexity, to uncovering the deeper cause, and finally learning how to apply it to others and to ourselves. It all comes down to one simple yet powerful principle: never confuse behavior with the whole person. When you live by this principle, you'll face fewer disappointments, judge less harshly, and widen your circle of connection. You'll see people not as one brushstroke, but as the whole, colorful painting, and that compassion will make you happier, wiser, and more deeply loved. Most importantly, you'll also be gentler with yourself. You'll no longer be trapped by the label, "This is just who I am." Instead, you'll see yourself as clay, always able to change, to try, to expand, and to grow. If you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe to Different Thinking today. As a thank you, I prepared a free gift for you, the ebook, 5 Lessons from Human Contradictions. You can download it right now in the description or the pinned comment below. Don't miss this chance, because one small habit can create a completely different future for you. And as always, if you found value here, hit subscribe plus the bell. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and I'll be reading and replying. To watch the full playlist, just click the link in the description below. See you in the next video.